Hey, I want to do a quick update for everybody. So, I guess I'll share this one publicly. I mean, people who find me on YouTube who obviously aren't in the group, they're not in the private group, so they wouldn't know what trades I'm talking about. But I've done a lot of public videos. For instance, I just did one of my Mucho Caffeino shorts, the YouTube shorts, the 1 minute videos. And I talked about how BTC was going to hold right here at the top of the cloud where the 99 EMA is, also where the 618 retracement is. So just to show you, so this wave structure, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, this is the wave 4. And then I said I think we're starting wave 5 here. And the fib retracement, if I draw it here, you'll see it's from the bottom of wave 2, or the bottom of wave 3 rather, to the top of wave 3. And that shows the wave 4 correction came down right to the 618 fib retracement. So that was perfect. And we've been bouncing ever since. So that's looking really good, looking really strong. As far as potential targets for wave 5, roughly mid 60s potentially. I'm hoping for an extension all the way to that 1618 extension to hit that main wave 3 target from earlier. We'll see if we can get that extended fifth. I'm not too worried about it right now. Right now, I'm just looking at short term. I have my trade where I got back in right after it bounced on the 99 EMA. Well, the first time I did, and then I bought over here too. So my stop loss is down below the top of the cloud over here at around 61K, right about 61K. My stop loss pretty tight. And BTC is looking good. I'm probably going to move my stop loss up to my entry, so that'll be a risk-free trade. Can't take a loss once I do that. I got all my original capital at least. Let me just quickly run through because I got to get dinner ready for the kids and everything. So let me run through the list, and we'll go over the various models. So my Ethereum trade, I had closed it earlier today when we started correcting. So I had taken, well, I don't even know. That was some solid profit. By the time I closed it, it started coming down, right? So that was maybe 12% profit, but that was a 5x trade. So it ended up being a 60%, or no, that was a 10x trade. Yeah, so 120% profit on my original investment. So my Ethereum trade was absolutely killer. Look at that model. Like, I got in right before that breakout. Perfect sideways correction action, and then the breakout. Everything we predicted came to pass. That was incredible how that played out. So now Ethereum's pumping again. I think I might just grab some. Even though I have BTC and LTC, I didn't want to go through all the majors. I was hoping to just get Bitcoin and Litecoin for this run, but I might, we're breaking that high. We're setting a new high here. Let me see what the other, early reversal on the 4-hour model. Let's see. Let's see if it breaks much higher than this prior top. I'm going to set an alert at around 24.15. If it breaks up to 24.15, I might FOMO in. But it'll probably get a little dip along the way, so maybe I might wait for a small dip. LTC, I got into a new position in LTC with a pretty low stop loss. So this is what I would usually treat a mid to long term risk. My last LTC trade obviously went up a ton since then, but I'm out of that trade. That was massive. Now, current open altcoin trades. So my link trade still going strong. 25%. So yeah, she's running really hard. I haven't even taken any profit on her, so she's looking really good. I might start taking profit soon. However, she's running hard even while the 4-hour Stoch is coming back down a little bit, and we're not really staying that overbought on the RSI. So I think Link might have some room to run, especially if we're starting a new leg up on BTC. Link could carry on potentially to $42 by the end of tonight, if not higher. She might get to $42 within a couple candles at this rate because she's moving pretty aggressively right now. CHZ, that's a newer entry. Started breaking out. We got in last night during the last night's live stream with the premium group. So 5% breakout for my entry, but it's looking really, really good for a big breakout here. Now this is actually a short-term trade and a long-term trade. So I got both. My short-term trade, I'm risking up to 5%, which is normally a lot, but there's so much potential return here that it's worth it for me to take that much risk on this trade. And then I also have a longer-term bag, and with that falling wedge, it was a no-brainer to get into CHZ. RSR, my RSR trade broke out originally for 18%. My original trade still holds too, obviously, but this trade broke out for 18%. So anybody who got in with me, you're in a really good position, or at least you were then before the retrace. It never came back to my original entry. It always held above that. So this trade was risk-free. I had my stop loss up at my entry. Then when we got down to this area, I moved it down lower again because I wanted to keep it under this 222 EMA. Oops. Right here, right? That's a really strong protection, so I wanted to keep it below there. And all right, you're gonna hear the kids come in and make a bunch of noise. So RSR got the retrace back close to my original entry. This is a really good time to get in. Back close to my original entry, probably close to starting a new leg up. We had that almost full retrace here. She's looking really bullish, and she held to this horizontal support structure. Because if you watch here, these bounces right at this level, you can see the dotted line. Let me do another line here. You'll see. The other line. You can see a lot of support right here, right? So we have big bounces off of that, but then if you go back before it got broken up around here, you could see strong support here, strong support over here as well, strong support back over here. All these candles riding that level right there. So generally, it's a strong support and resistance level. Now we have the, I don't have a potential target, but we have a trendline resistance here. So once we break above that, we're in good shape. Before we break out of that, I'm not so sure. Over here, oh, Ethereum is giving me an alert. I'm going to wait till she retraces a little bit. Sorry, I got kids and they will not leave me alone, so you're going to have to deal with them. They found me. All right, so RSR still looks like a good entry. HOT, that was a long-term entry, so ignore this. This isn't like a tight stop loss here or anything. I'm fine with it coming back down to this level. I just bought in right here. I'll probably buy in a little bit more if it holds around this level. It might come back down to the 222 EMA on the 4-hour, but I'm not sure if it'll get that low. Once HOT does start to run, we're looking at a really, really big run on her, so I'm not worried about small dips here, especially given the level of support at this level, which if you notice the green line, that's one of the fib retracements. So that's that 50% fib retracement after the last pump. So that had a 50% fib retrace, and there's a strong support there already from before. There's a really good chance it holds right there and doesn't even get to the 222 EMA. Right, next, so update on Sun. So Sun was a good entry at the point, falling wedge, right? Initial breakout, moved sideways for a bit. Fell into a little bit of a symmetrical triangle. I would have to redraw that, but it's within the cloud now. In this case, based on the 4-hour model and how bullish the Stoke looks, see how low the Stoke is, how it's turning up like this? And it's inside the cloud, fighting against the top of that cloud. That's one of my IchEMA dynamic resistance levels. Once she does break above that cloud, she's going to break out. I expect a new local high, a new all-time high. So that's going to take her up. I would bet she goes on a run of upwards of 35% once she breaks out of that cloud. I think she's going to move aggressively once she's free of that resistance. JST, another recent entry that held up really well, especially after the initial breakout and then retrace. Initial breakout, retrace, second leg, retrace, holding at the top of the cloud with the 55 EMA. The 55 EMA is another one of my key IchEMA dynamic supports. My IchEMA system is amazing. These supports sometimes save the day. That's holding really, really well. If you could buy in close to that level, it's certainly a good time to get in. Right now, it's a little bit high above, but if you were able to buy in right here above the 55 EMA, right where the top of the cloud is, that would have been the perfect time to enter. A lot of people who are in my trading group, who know my trading system, probably spotted that and entered without me. That's the beauty of my model. You don't have to listen to my trades. You can find them on your own. ADA, another great trade that broke out very aggressively for a 30% run, so I sold half. The rest, if you remember, now this is great because 2 live streams ago when we talked about this, I had sold when it was on the main breakout, and I said I'm selling 50% of my position, and the other 50% of my position, I was setting a stop loss right at this level, so I had 10% locked in, meaning for my entry, that would be about 10% profit right here. So if it did dump all the way back down, if it hit my 10% stop loss right here, I would at least get a 10% profit, because if it got to that level, chances are it would go all the way down. But before this initial dump right here, before this yellow line got hit, on that live stream, I specifically set this yellow line as my main support because I noticed big resistance here, rejection here, a lot of rejections on all these candles right here. So I was able to say, this is my key support. So I'm going to set that support there and place my stop loss just below that support. That way, if we dump, we're either going to bounce big off of the support or the support will fail and it's going to dump really big, in which case I want to get out with my 10% profit. You can see my support held perfectly. And that's one of the important things you guys need to focus on when you're learning to become a better trader. Support and resistance is crucial. It's one of the key things I teach people who are in my group. It's one of the key things I've talked about in all the educational videos I've done. Support and resistance is the end-all be-all when you're looking for basic things and basic concepts to master as a new trader when you're getting into the technical models, especially with my IchEMA model, because that gives you dynamic supports that aren't static. Instead of just having a static horizontal line, once you go up 500% from here, you're not going to care about this line, but you are going to care about these EMAs because these EMAs follow the price action, right? These EMAs go up with the price over time. So this 222 EMA is always going to be a key support that could indicate a big bounce, like here, or when it got close to the 222 back here. So that said, ADA is looking really good. I still have half my position open, so I'm riding this next wave up. As long as we set a new all-time high, I might take profit again. I might close out the trade. This was intended to be a short-term trade. When I originally got in, remember, I only risked 1.8%. So I bought in right here. I predicted the breakout so well because of my IchEMA model. It was riding the 55 EMA and the 99 EMA. I predicted that breakout so efficiently that I was able to enter with only 1.8% risk. My stop loss was under 2% below my entry. So if it did dump, I only would have lost 2%. I only would have lost $2 for a $100 trade. But since we got the breakout, that tiny risk turned into a massive return. So if I end up walking away with 45% profit on this trade, if she sets a new all-time high, I'm probably going to close out the trade. It wasn't meant to be a longer-term trade. It was meant to be a short-term trade. I do also have a long-term position that I've been in for a while, since before the last breakout run down here. So I'm already up a ton on that one. That long-term trade, if you guys remember when I shared that, I don't remember how long ago that was, but it's up like 60%. And that was earlier this month. Last month, or it was in February, whatever. Okay, so that's that. Now, Vtho is one of my all-time favorite long-term plays. I've done incredibly well on it, not as well as some of my other trades, but still a 20x right now. From my big long-term entry, I'm almost at 20x. Now, I just shared to the group, literally before this big pump candle. This was, let me just show you guys. This was what I had shared on the retrace before the next second pump. So you have the first one and the second one. Hold on. Oh, it's still back down a little bit. Oh, I'm on the 4 hour. Sorry. I was going to say, I thought I was on the hourly model still. So down in this region, perfect entry, long-term for Vtho. Even at this price, not a bad idea for a long-term position. Now, you're not going to get the best possible entry. It obviously would have been better towards the bottom of the cloud. I don't know if we're going to get down to that lower level again. So if you want to get in long term, it's not a terrible time to get in now. We came out of this falling wedge, so that was already really bullish. We've been moving a little bit upwards, trending up slightly, but primarily it's been more of a sideways breakout. So I'm waiting for that big breakout run. When that happens, we do have a triple top. Look at this. 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. 3 wicks that hit that exact level. So that's a really, really strong resistance. Just like I was showing you with identifying that ADA key support that allowed me to make such an accurate trade. Same thing here. This is a key resistance at this level. 3 attempts, each one failing at that almost precise level. Once that breaks, you're going to see an explosive pump back to an all-time high above the prior top on Vtho. I also have long-term trades going on OGN. Again, this one right here looks like if this was a short-term trade only, it would have dipped down and hit my stop loss with that wick. But the 99 EMA held. It dipped down slightly, but mostly the 99 EMA held, and it's back into profitability now. So see what happens with OGN. OMG, I didn't end up pulling the trigger with an entry on OMG, if I recall. I did enter into AKRO, that one. I didn't set a stop loss on that one either, so I'm still in this one. This was a long-term trade as well, so no stop loss. And then there were a couple of my longer term trades that I might have actually set a stop loss on. So all these trades are longer term. I don't actually have a stop loss here 6% below, so you can ignore the bottom there. I have to check and see which. There were 1 or 2. I'll have to check my account. 1 or 2 of my longer term trades I actually did set a stop loss on, so I have to see which ones they were. Cody, I'm almost positive I did not. This falling wedge is still intact. I have to redraw the support, but it's roughly the same. Once that eventually does break out and Cody starts running, she's going to blow. She's going to run really aggressively. You can see how low the Stoke is here on the daily. She is primed for a massive run after this correction. That was a really solid correction. So I'm anticipating a really big run on Cody as well. My new DOT trade is doing really well on DOT. I got an initial breakout after moving sideways for a bit, came back down and retested the support, and now you can see over here, she came back down right to where my EMAs are, and look how well my EMAs are holding, the 55 and the 99, and now the top of the cloud. So that's also a good time to get in if you miss my entry. I think she's going to bounce nicely from here, go back to an all-time high, at least over $47. So I'm confident about DOT as well, and I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't think I have any newer entries right now. I have an FIL longer term trade, not a short term bag at the moment, although It's not a terrible idea to get into a short-term bag. Let me see. So right here, if you wanted to enter FIL, this would be a really great entry because you see how strong this horizontal support is? All these bounces on that support. And then back here, all these bounces back here too. That's a really strong horizontal support. Plus the 99 EMA held like a beauty. And the bottom of the cloud here, which is providing additional support. So if you wanted to get into a long-term play, this would be a really good opportunity. It looks like this is about a 50% retracement on that wave 1, so that's wave 2. If this is indeed the start of wave 3, we could see a pretty aggressive run up. I'll give you a potential target right now. If we were to run up from here, she could potentially make it all the way up to like 245. She could push all the way up to that 168 extension for like almost a 50% run, and that would look something like this. Wave 3 could take us all the way up to 245, get a wave 4 dip, and then wave 5 would probably be a little smaller. Wave 5 would probably go back up to 260, somewhere in there. We'll see how that plays out. All right, that's a good enough update for now. Now, for people who aren't in my Flux trading group, if you're not familiar, Jack booted me off of Twitter, and it became too much trouble trying to set up new accounts and build up my following again. When you have tens of thousands of followers, it's not as easy as just restarting. So I gave up on Twitter. Now it's really hard to reach out to the crypto community to bring people to my group. So my trading group, it's a private group. It's a paid service. For the premium group, it's $130 a month. For the basic group, it's $50 a month. There's discounts for multiple months. We have me and other traders. We share all of our trades. Every time I get into a trade, I share it with the team. We have mods and other contributors who put up content, and I do live streams, essentially like this recorded video, but I do it live, and I do it with my premium group, and I teach them everything that I know. I love teaching this stuff. You could probably tell from this video. I really get into it. I really enjoy showing how I use all these things because I got wrecked like every other noob. In 2018, I got wrecked like everybody else, and I had to essentially learn how to trade from scratch. And the old adage is it takes 100 grand in losses and a year of your life to learn how to be a successful trader. Well, my philosophy is that is true because that happened to me. I almost lost 6 figures, and I did have to waste several months of my life, but I was doing it for 16 hours a day, so it didn't take me a year. If you have somebody who did that for you, you don't have to do it yourself. So you don't need to go through the trouble of learning yourself from scratch and taking all those losses when you have somebody who's gone through that for you, and they could tell you what mistakes to avoid. That's why I like teaching so much, because back then I wish I had somebody like me that was able to mentor me and teach me, and I like giving back and doing that now. Plus it's a good revenue stream to have the group. It allows me to not focus on trading as much with as much risk. I can risk, it changes my risk analysis. Normally I wouldn't be able to take as much risk as I do, and I don't have nearly as much capital as I need to trade with full time. So yep, if you guys want to join the group, feel free to DM me in Discord. I'll put the link in the description for this video. And if you don't, and you just want free shit, then subscribe, because I love putting out videos like this, even when you're not paying for them. I love doing free stuff too. I just like to share my knowledge. All right, guys, if you need me for any reason, feel free to hit me up, DM me at any of the platforms listed below, except Twitter, that evil place, and I will follow up on the next one.